My girlfriend Clara and I had been together for 2 years. I thought she was the one. She was charming, beautiful, and seemed to get along great with my family. Or so I thought. For my parents' 30th wedding anniversary, I wanted to do something special. I told Clara I was saving up to send them on a second honeymoon, a trip to Italy they'd always dreamed of. I had a separate savings account for it, and I'd been putting money aside for months. I even showed her the account, proudly pointing to the growing balance. It was a testament to how much I loved my parents. Clara seemed supportive, even offering ideas for their itinerary. Looking back, I should have seen the glint in her eye, but I was blinded by love. I trusted her completely. I even gave her access to my banking app for emergencies, a decision that would come back to haunt me in the worst way possible. A few weeks before my parents' anniversary, my own birthday rolled around. Clara was unusually secretive, hinting at a huge surprise. On the day, she presented me with a stunningly expensive watch. It was a brand I'd admired but would never dream of buying for myself. I was floored, but also a little suspicious. "Clara, this is incredible. But how could you afford this?" I asked, trying to keep the shock out of my voice. She just smiled and said, "I've been saving up, silly. I wanted to get you something you'd love, something that shows you how much you mean to me." Her answer was so sweet, so seemingly genuine, that I pushed my doubts aside. I hugged her, feeling like the luckiest guy in the world. I wore the watch with pride, showing it off to my friends, bragging about how amazing my girlfriend was. Little did I know that watch was a symbol of her betrayal. The bubble burst a week later. I logged into my savings account, excited to see how close I was to the goal for my parents' trip. My heart stopped. The balance was almost zero. Thousands of dollars gone. Panic set in. I scrolled through the transaction history, my hands shaking. There it was, a single massive transfer to a high-end jeweler, dated the day before my birthday. The same day, Clara bought my gift. The pieces of the puzzle clicked into place with a sickening thud. She hadn't been saving, she had stolen. She had taken the money meant for my parents for their dream trip and spent it on a flashy gift to make herself look good. The watch on my wrist suddenly felt like it was burning my skin. It wasn't a gift, it was a lie, purchased with stolen funds. The sense of betrayal was suffocating. It wasn't just about the money. It was about the calculated deception from the person I thought I was going to spend my life with. I was furious, but I knew confronting her in a rage wouldn't solve anything. I needed to be smart. I needed to play her game. So I took a deep breath and put on my best happy boyfriend act. That evening, I told Clara, "Honey, your gift inspired me. You're so generous and I want to be more like you. My parents' anniversary is coming up, and I want to get them something truly special, a gift from both of us." Her eyes lit up. She loved the idea of taking credit for a grand gesture. I continued, "I saw this incredible custom-made anniversary sculpture online. It's a one-of-a-kind piece. It's expensive, but they deserve it. It would mean the world to them and to me if we could get it for them." I made sure to sound incredibly enthusiastic, selling her on the prestige of the gift. She was completely hooked, already imagining the praise she'd receive from my family. "The only problem," I said, feigning concern, "is that I'm a little short after buying some stocks this month. Could you help cover it? We can put your name on the gift card first, nice and big, from Clara and me." Her ego swelled at the thought. "Of course, baby. How much is it?" she asked eagerly. I named a price. Coincidentally, the exact price of the watch she had bought me. She didn't even flinch. She probably assumed I was still oblivious to her theft. The next day, she transferred the money to my account. "For your parents," she said with a proud smile, as if she were the most generous person on earth. I felt a grim satisfaction as the money landed back where it belonged. The first part of my plan was complete. Now for the final act. I took the watch, the symbol of her deceit, back to the jeweler. Thankfully, I had the receipt from the box. Since it was a recent purchase and in perfect condition, they agreed to a full refund. As the money was credited back to my account, my parents' account, I felt a wave of relief. The money for their trip was now fully restored, plus the amount Clara had just contributed. I immediately booked their dream trip to Italy. Flights, hotels, tours, everything. It was all set. The trap was laid, and it was time for the grand finale. I invited Clara to my parents' anniversary dinner, telling her we'd be presenting our big gift together. She arrived dressed to the nines, practically vibrating with anticipation, ready to soak up all the glory. We all sat down for dinner. My dad raised a glass. "Son, your mother and I just want to say, whatever you have planned, just having you here is gift enough." Clara beamed, nudging me under the table, whispering, "This is the perfect time." I stood up, my heart pounding. "Mom, Dad," I began, my voice steady. "For your 30th anniversary, I wanted to give you the world. I know you've always dreamed of going to Italy." I pulled out a folder and handed it to them. "So, I booked you a 2-week trip. Everything is paid for. Your second honeymoon." My parents' faces went from confusion to pure, unadulterated joy. There were tears, hugs, and a lot of happy shouting. In the midst of the celebration, Clara looked utterly bewildered. She turned to me, her fake smile frozen on her face. "But the sculpture? The gift from both of us?" I looked her dead in the eye, my voice dropping so only she could hear. "There is no sculpture, Clara. The money you gave me for it, that was just a fraction of the money you stole from this very trip fund to buy me that watch." I held up my bare wrist. A watch I returned, by the way. The money from that return finished paying for their trip. The color drained from her face. She looked around, realizing everyone was watching. My parents, now aware of the tension, looked at me, then at her, their smiles fading. "You used the money meant for my parents to buy me a gift?" I said, my voice rising so everyone could hear. "You lied to me. You stole from my family." The silence was deafening. Clara just sat there, her mask of perfection shattered, exposed for the thief and manipulator she was. There was no grand praise for her, only the cold, hard reality of her actions. She tried to stammer out an excuse, but the damage was done. My dad, a man of few words, simply looked at her and said, "I think it's time for you to leave." She gathered her things and walked out of my life without another word. Seeing my parents off at the airport a few weeks later was one of the best moments of my life. Their happiness was genuine, a direct result of me righting a wrong. Getting revenge was satisfying, but protecting my family and making their dream come true was the real victory. I learned a hard lesson about trust, but I also learned that doing the right thing, even when it's difficult, is always worth it. As for Clara, I sometimes wonder if she ever feels a shred of remorse. But honestly, I don't really care. I'm just glad she's gone. My focus is on what's real, my family, and my own integrity. That's a foundation no one can ever steal. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It was a wild ride, and I'm so glad I could share it with all of you. If you've ever been in a similar situation, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. It really helps the channel out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.